Good day and welcome to HTMI Hospitality TV. Today we're in the beautiful resort town of Zermatt at the 5-star Grand Hotel Zermatterhof, and we're chatting with the General Manager, Mr. Rafael Biner. Mr. Biner, thank you very much for inviting us into your beautiful hotel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Luck. It's a pleasure to welcome you in Zermatt.
Do you find, from an international market point of view, newer markets are opening up now, specifically in Asia?
Yes, Zermatt has always been attracted all over the world. I mean, not like South Fe, our clientele is not coming only from Switzerland and Germany, the major part, but from everywhere. And in the last 5, 6, 7 years, we had very good increasement from Far East, but also from India, from Chinese, and from Brazil. So Zermatt as a hotspot in the Alps is really attracted by many countries.
I mean, of course, the Chinese market today is huge. There's many more Chinese travelers coming, especially within Switzerland. Do you find that gives you extra challenges tapping into the Chinese market?
We have a big change since 2008, since the financial crisis. But even before, when the Deutsche Mark changed into the euro, we struggled in the 90s. And then Switzerland had a good development of the overnights in the tourism sector. But we have realized that if we work or if we operate only on the classic markets like Europe, we will not change the difficult situation at the moment. So we have to act globally. And even if Indian guests or Chinese guests are in a way not our classical focus, we have to realize that we have to face this situation.
Because there are two very big growing markets.
Exactly, yeah. And it's a question of time. So this market will develop in the next years and it will be more and more interesting for us.
So how do you differentiate yourself, between yourself and the Mont Savane? Because you're both basically competing for the same target market.
Exactly. This is not very easy, but we have our USPs, our differences. First of all, we are still owned by the traditional families of Zermatt. So the management is in Zermatt. The owners are from here. They pass the guests every day. They see them. They greet each other. So maybe 1,500 Zermatt people are owners of this hotel. And the tradition won't change for the next 100 years, hopefully. Another point is that the hotel is quite smaller. We have about 80 rooms. And our competitor has about 170 rooms. So I can imagine that for a concierge manager, it's easier to memorize 70 names instead of 170. So what I want to explain is the overview also for a guest stepping in this hotel. It seems to be more familiar, and we know each other faster. It's easier to recognize a guest for my staff and to greet them with a name. So I think at the end, one guest prefers a bigger place where he's maybe not known or more anonymous, and the other place he comes in and he feels maybe more like a returning guest. And this is one of the major differences. Beside that, both hotels have undergone refurbishments every year, so you can compare the two hotels. From the outlets, there are some different restaurants, but the major task is really the size of the hotel.
What is your ratio between your repeat customers to new customers at the Grand Hotel?
This ratio is changing since many years, because in the past the Zermatterhof used to have maybe 60 to 70% returning guests, because the returning guests, they were staying very long, and if we are counting the room nights, then this ratio is reducing every year. Because younger returning guests, they probably don't come for 20 years anymore like they did in the past. So now we count about 30% returning guests and 70% new guests.
Why do you think that trend is happening? Because I know it's very traditional in the grand hotels, Zermatt, St. Moritz, and many other places in Switzerland, that it was generation after generation, coming back and again to the same hotel. So why has this whole shift changed?
It has to do, I think, with the development of our civilization. We feel that we want to change. We feel very well in different places of the world. More and more you can explore different places. It's safe everywhere. And I think that the classical holiday destination, they have to compare the new destination, and it's completely normal that people want to change their resort after a few years. And on the other hand, they may come back after 5-6 years and visit you again.
So being up here in Zermatt, besides the challenges with marketing, do you also find with regard operational issues, that's also a challenge?
Yes, definitely. Because a hotel that closes 2 times a year has always a question to find new employees. Many employees are very young. Let's talk about 20 to 25 years old, and they have many challenges over the world. And especially in the holiday industry, it's very easy to travel from one country to the other one, from one hotel to the other one, and to find a new place. So especially on the target of employees, every year 2 times we reopen the hotel, and let's say 40% of our employees are new collaborators.
So that must be quite a challenge, getting them trained, working towards your 5-star deluxe standards.
It is, definitely. And since we received our certification for ISO, the international standard, ISO 9001. We have all the standards written down. We have our training sessions. So it's better defined now. But on the other hand, you have to repeat it. And this is one of the hard targets that especially this point has to be renewed, not only every season, but every week, every month.
So it's quite a challenge maintaining those high standards of quality guest service in a resort property like Zermatt, where it's a seasonal resort. Open a few months during the summer, opening a few months during the winter seasons.
Yes, and also knowing that you have to count your figures, you have your budgets. So maybe you have a thinking that you need to employ 5 employees more in total, or 10. And on the other hand, you have to respect your budgets. So you have the operation going on, and on the other hand, you have to train your employees. So when you open a hotel, you are serving, and to make sure that the training is effective is a difficult part.
Do you find that some of your staff are coming back season after season?
Yes.
I mean, are they staff mainly enjoying working in resort seasonal properties as opposed to, full-time jobs within big city centers?
Some of my employees, I would say about 50%, they return every year. Some of them work in this hotel since 20 years already. I have an employee, he went into pension last winter, and he used to work as a maître d'hôtel for 44 years in this place. And the younger generation is thinking like taking holidays, changing the places, and having new experiences. So, as I said before, we have very much wonderful places, wonderful resorts, and they want to explore and see what is there around. And we are already happy if a young employee is willing to stay with us about 3 or 4 seasons.
That's great, because then, there's not so much time and investment within that training.
Yeah, they come back the next season and they are already used with the tasks, and they know they can also encourage the new ones to find them better organized in a shorter time.
So, what is your vision for the future of hospitality?
Future hospitality, definitely guests will stay shorter. Even if a longer stay would be more helpful for every individual person. Sometimes we stress ourselves. We take only 3-4 days in a period for some holidays, but definitely people have less time. They will give a short notice to pass to have a holiday, and also the demand is changing. If 20 years back we had a very traditional guest, the guest nowadays is once very formal, once very simple, so you cannot have a clear segmentation anymore. So this is changing. This means that our interaction has to be faster as well. We cannot plan anymore 5-6 years in advance. This business is changing definitely very, very fast.
Well, I wish you all the best for the upcoming winter season, and I hope it's a really busy season for you. Mr. Biner, it's been truly fascinating speaking with you and hearing your views. And thank you very much
Thank you
for your time.
Thank you.